I think that you know, he's Hungrybox is one of the best players in the world.
Of course.
It goes without saying. That's gonna be hard, but Jamrun is really patient. He's not very like buttonsy,
right?
If you know what I mean. Like he's not gonna go buck on you with nairs and press a ton of buttons and be up in your grill. He's very, very comfortable playing the slow game, and I think that works better versus a matchup like in a matchup like this.
Right.
Less likely to take risks, less likely to get punished for them. Yeah.
All right, so I think I think that's gonna.
Oh goodness gracious!
And off the top.
Just like that. You see that the face wipe on Jamrun? He's like, oh.
Yeah, that's not quite how you want to spend your first 20 seconds against Jigglypuff.
Yeah. That was 15 seconds in and you died. It's only going to happen against a character like this one, pretty much, in that situation, middle of the stage.
And so he's trying to trade with Nair, but I don't know if like he really wants that trade at this so early, especially because Jigglypuff is gonna just keep racking up this damage.
Yeah, he's done a ton of % on this stock. He's pretty much done what he needs to do. Gotten through to 112%. Oh, nice grab.
I think that also comes with HBox doing his aerials with Z, that he's going to catch those turn-ups.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, something that, I'm not sure if a lot of players watching the stream know, but as he said, he uses Z for all of his aerials. It's he's just jumping around with the joystick and using Z. It's pretty interesting, and allows for that benefit of catching items, catching turn-ups.
And that just makes this matchup that much worse. Because I know some pitchers really do like a turn-up to kind of get in and get something going, or at least it also just adds that percentage, right?
Yeah, sure.
And I think that was another one right there. Oh.
Yeah. I feel like there's no Jamrun just has to kind of figure out his game plan and just cement it down. It's just kind of a lot of flailing around and from both of them. But Hungrybox is like racking up damage really fast.
We have seen that patience from Jamrun, like you had mentioned. He is kind of he's okay with taking some space and retreating a little bit. But I mean, it's hard when you're down like this.
Yeah.
It's also nice to see him stick to his game plan.
The biggest problem is that Hungrybox or Jamrun he keeps going above him. He keeps going on platforms, and I think he's taking just way too much damage. He needs to just play the ground game a bit more and like float at the height that he's at right now.
Right.
Jumping on a platform is just bad. Like pretty much doesn't matter who you're facing. Like Marth, Puff, Fox. Like if you're above somebody, you're typically at disadvantage. Now he's doing good now. He has a corner.
A lot of the tougher matchups in Melee is when your character is forced to play slightly different than what you're used to.
Yeah, of course.
And so like that float height might be a really good example as well.
Yeah, I mean this is every fighting game. This is every competitive in a 1v1 game where you're picking a character. It's like if you play an unfamiliar matchup, like that's the place where you're really tested.
Yeah.
It's have you actually tried that matchup spread and practiced it recently, or are you just going to get mopped up by something you haven't played against recently?
Exactly.
I wonder what his stage choice is going to be. Let's see. Most likely ban like.
This is best 5.
Yoji. Oh, right.
Yep.
Sorry, this is my first comment. This is my first match of the day. Running a little slow.
No worries, but interesting pick, I think. But
I mean, it makes sense. He wants a small stage, like not small in terms of blast zones, but like the compactness will make it look at this. Like he already has a % lead.
Right.
He wants to force more interactions, which I think makes sense. The slow game wasn't helping him.
So HBox just gives up the ledge there, and that was interesting. Maybe something to do with the matchup. Probably doesn't want to risk getting hit, but
I mean, Peach is at her most vulnerable, like most characters, by the edge, but it's even worse for her because she doesn't have a ledge hop, so you'd think that Hungrybox would like just take a step closer and maybe pressure her a bit more. Right. All she really has is her standard ledge options, like she can tap forward, roll, ledge attack. But once you have her in this position right now is really where you want to force how bad it is. Oh wow, didn't get punished because it pushed him off stage.
I like that dare attempt, but there you go, right in that bad spot.
Yeah. Oh boy. His placement on his moves is just so great. So great. And you don't see it often because people just don't play this character. And if they do, they don't play her at his level. Wow, that was a punish.
Wow.
That was straight up punish. Like if that was Fox, that would have been like a back or turn on up smash, but yeah, really strange to see because you don't normally see that up smash hit like that from the back. It's so far.
Right.
Hitbox is pretty massive.
Nice, and Jamrun cleans up that stock.
Good trade. Took him to business school.
So let's talk about a little bit why, like, we've been saying that this matchup's hard for Peach, but we haven't really kind of talked about why. And I think it really has to do with some of like the spacing that Puff's able to just get in and even follow Peach out on her recovery. There's a lot of options for Jigglypuff to just control the air, and that's where Peach usually likes to be.
Oh, wow, yeah, you're right, you're right. Sorry to interrupt, but again, another punish, just Jamrun dash attacking right into the shield, and then, yeah, you know what happens when you do that. So.
And it's unfortunate, too, both rests have been off the top.
Yeah, he didn't even get a chance to get a punish, like you were saying. But, yeah, as to why the matchup's bad, I mean, the Peach is good at matchups where, like I said, she gets to play against people in a more grounded way. Like her fair and her bear and all these moves, like she got a palm. They're designed to kind of like screw with people that are approaching you on the ground and like to cover that space that's directly in front and below her while she's floating. But Puff has like the best aerial mobility out of all the viable characters, the viable tournament characters. So you can't really get Puff to where you want her to be.
Right.
She's gonna be above you, and that's what Puff specializes in. Like she's gonna nair and go and float around you, like land behind you and be in all these strange places that Peach doesn't want you to be. It's very hard for her to like enforce her will like she normally does.
Exactly.
So sometimes it's as simple as grabbing a turnip as Peach, tossing it forward, floating towards your opponent, and then that's your approach. But like Puff is never gonna be static or dash dancing. Like she's constantly jumping around.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is that her punish game is like, it's basically non-existent. She doesn't get grabbed to free move. She doesn't get down. Did she even get down for the dash attack? I don't think so. If Puff DI's away.
I don't think so, no.
Wow, that was good. That was good.
Yeah, nice.
And then the possibly the worst thing about this matchup is Peach's biggest blind spot is beneath her. Her down air isn't really good for challenging anything beneath her, and Puff has like a really, really good up air that leads to itself or leads to like a rest or whatever, depending on the percent. So if Puff somehow gets underneath Peach, that's like worst case scenario. Like right now, what is he gonna do?
Exactly.
He's gonna take another hit probably.
It was a good defense, but yeah, it's very hard for Peach to get down against Jigglypuff.
Yeah.
That's
tough stuff.
Yep.
Just trying to think about what he can do. I don't even think it's the level, really. I think it's just, just looking at Jigglypuff's best case scenario and then trying your best to prevent that as much as you possibly can.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? I do think Jamrun's doing pretty well. It just like when we factor in the matchup and who he's playing against, and it's just a little bit tough, right? Like we're saying, he's not playing bad by any means.
He's a little shook. There was a moment here early in this first stock where he was right next to Hungrybox, and Hungrybox up tilted. He could have crouch canceled and down smash. He could have got some damage or crouch canceled something, but yeah, he's thinking about something. Something's on his mind. It's just maybe his focus is in the wrong place. Let's see what he can do. Oh boy.
I actually do like Jamrun's movement. He is kind of this defensive movement. He is kind of getting away in some areas, but HBox is just so good at catching.
Yeah.
And calling it out too.
And also not getting hit. He has like 28% on that first stock. Like basically every move he put out pretty much hit and didn't get tagged with anything. And that's how you want to play Smash Brothers, ladies and gentlemen. As Isaiah once said, don't get hit.
Don't get hit.
Ouch. Yeah, tough stuff. Oh no.
The other thing about this matchup is Peach doesn't have the best whiff punishes.
Like, I mean, yeah, and the dash attack is the only kind of like forward advancing quick move, and it will lead to her death if he reads it. So.
Exactly, and there was like a moment there on the whiffed up smash, all she gets is an air.
Yeah, and also that too was another problem. What you were saying, plus the fact that her grab can get crouched, is like that's a huge problem. Oh man, the fact that Puff can do that, it makes her so good. Like, imagine if she didn't have, like aerial to crouch. Like, there's a bunch of situations where you would just get like shield grab. Like the Fox matchup would be not Fox, sorry, the Falcon matchup, and Marth would be so much worse. But Peach already is so limited in what she can do to Puff, and it just makes it worse.
Is that gonna? Okay, nice,
Free hit here probably. If you consider it like every time Puff grabs, up throws Peach, or every time she up airs Peach and gets her above, consider that a free hit. It's pretty tough. Pretty tough. Ooh. Again, no crouch cancel. It's weird. I want to see him. Oh, that's that tag.
Just shield pokes.
Jamrun with a stank face. Definitely not happy with that rest.
But that was also the first one off the side, so we did get to see a slight punish.
Too little, too late.
Yeah,
is what crosses my mind. But You know what I really like about Hungrybox? Judicious use of down air. Oh no, got under him again.
Wow. Yeah, he's actually using the. Oh my.
That's definitely, I think, run off air maybe.
Yeah. But he's using the down air a lot more than I'm used to seeing. Maybe it's something about the matchup and just, I mean, he's converting off it. So.
It's a really good move. I was just playing him in friendlies on stream. I was getting destroyed. And yeah, down air is really good. If it hits you, it almost always leads to a grab unless you DI'd correctly.
Right.
And then it shield stabs a lot. Like, there's just there. Just did it again. It's very tough to deal with. Look, he'd block like 99% of the move, and then the last hit would shield stab him, and then it induces a ton of hit stun. It's really good for just disrupting defense, intercepting in the air, and pressuring. Yeah, there we go. Look, I comboed.
Yeah.
Crazy. Might be dead here.
Oh.
Oh wow, made it to the ground, and that's it. Okay, good effort by Jamrun.
Definitely a good effort. That's a tough matchup. He's also the second best player in the world.